Shalom Aleichem, and welcome to Jerusalem Hebrew's weekly reading of the first three verses of this week's Torah portion. This week's Torah portion is Parashat Ki TAVO. Parashat Ki TAVO is found in Deuteronomy chapter 26, verse 1 through chapter 29, verse 28. Repeat after me. Wahaya, Wahaya, Ki TAVO, Ki TAVO, El Ha'aras, El Ha'aras, Asher, Asher, Adonai, Adonai, Elohecha, Elohecha, Nothen Lecha, Nothen Lecha, Nahala, Nahala, Wirishta, Wirishta, Vayashavta, Vayashavta, Ba, Ba. Notice how there is a dot inside the he in some of these words. That means, unlike other words where he at the end of the word has no dot, in which case the he is not pronounced as a consonant H, in which case when there's no dot in the he is simply symbolizing the vowel of the previous letter. In contrast to that, when he has a dot inside of it, the he actually represents a consonant H sound. And it is a consonant H sound which should be pronounced without a vowel following it. So, for example, you see here the vowel kamas under the bet. You should pronounce the sound of kamas vowel before you pronounce the sound of the consonant H of this he with a dot, which is called mapik. That is the name of the he with the dot in it, mapik. So you will pronounce the letter B with the vowel of the kamas, and then you will pronounce the H consonant sound of the mapik, and no vowel should follow that H sound. This is a little bit challenging for native English speakers because we don't ever do this in English. So it should not be ba-ha, not ba-ha, but ba, and then you exhale. Ba, ba, ba. All right, we will read it one more time in Hebrew. Feel free to follow along in the transliteration. Note where the accent marks are. That is where you should accent each part of the word. The accented vowels are the parts of the word that should stand out from other parts of the word. Again. Wahaya ki TAVO el ha'aras asher Adonai Elohecha Nothen Lecha Nahala Wirishta Vayashavta Ba. One more time at a little bit more of a natural pace. Wahaya ki TAVO el ha'aras Asher Adonai Elohecha Nothen Lecha Nahala Wirishta Vayashavta Ba. Pasuk haba, next verse, next pasuk. Pasuk haba, chapter 26, verse 2. Repeat after me. Walaqahta mereshith. Again. Walaqahta mereshith. Kol peri, kol peri. Ha'adama, ha'adama. Asher, asher. Tovi, tovi. Me arsacha, me arsacha. When you have two shavas in a row, the first shava is a silent shava. It means end of the previous syllable. When you have two shavas in a row, the second shava is a sounded shava. That means it makes and symbolizes a short vowel, but the short vowel will not be an accented syllable. So this should be read, these two shavas in a row should be read me arsacha, me arsacha. So it's not arscha, not artscha, but artse, artse. And it should be artsecha and not artsecha. Artsacha, not artsacha. Artsacha would be accenting the syllable of the sadi, but that is incorrect. Shava means not accented. So shava is either a silent vowel, it's not even a vowel, it means the end of the previous syllable. That is what shava means if it is silent. Or it means a sounded shava, which is an unaccented vowel sound, a short vowel sound. One more time. Me arsacha, me arsacha. Asher, Asher Adonai, Adonai, Elohecha, Elohecha. Nathan Lach, Nathan Lach. Wesamta, Wesamta, Vatana, Vatana. Tet is a type of T sound. In modern Hebrew, it is pronounced the same as the Tav. But in classical biblical Hebrew, ancient Hebrew pronunciation, the tef is clearly distinct from the sound of a tav. Tav is made with the tip of your tongue touching the roof of your mouth near your two front upper teeth, whereas tef, this letter, is produced with the tip of your tongue, but the contact is further back in your mouth, closer to where the roof of your mouth begins to arch up, as opposed to near your teeth, where the roof of your mouth is more flat. Vatana, vatana. We know to accent the syllable of the teth because it has the cantillation mark, the tam. Vatana. Wahalachta, wahalachta. El hammaqam. El hammaqam. We know to geminate this mem. That means double the mem with an elongated m sound. Not hammaqam, but hammaqam. That is called gemination, and that is what non-beged kefet letters do when they have a dagesh, a dot, in the middle of them. El hammaqam. Asher, asher, yivhar, yivhar. Adonai, Adonai, Elohecha, Elohecha. Leshaken, leshaken, shema, shema, sham, sham. Now let's read it again all the way through. ולקחת מראשית כל פרי האדמה אשר תביא מארצך אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך ושמת ותנה והלכת אל המקום אשר יבחר אדוני אלוהיך לשכן שם. Feel free to follow along in the transliteration or play back as often as you need. We'll read it one more time, this time at a little bit more of a natural pace. ולקחת מראשית כל פרי האדמה אשר תביא מארצך אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך ושמת ותנה והלכת אל המקום אשר יבחר אדוני אלוהיך לשכן שם. And finally, we are on chapter 26, verse 3, Pasuk Haba, the next Pasuk, the next verse. Repeat after me. Uvafa, uvafa, el hakohen, asher, asher, yeh. This hey in the transliteration is bolded to let you know that although this hey is at the end of the syllable, yet it should be pronounced as a consonantal hey. It is not silent. And the shava should be silent shava, but the consonant hey is sounded. So this is pronounced the same as a mapik, such as we had in the first verse. Mapik. So a hey, when it is over a shava, if a hey is over a silent shava that is in the middle of a word, it is pronounced in the same way as a mapik, even though there's no dot in it. Yeh, there should be an H sound. Yeh, yet, and not yeh yet. Not yeh yet, but yeah. Bayamim, geminate the yud. There's a dagesh in the yud. Bayamim, hohem, wa'amarta, elo. In modern Hebrew, this would be elav. In biblical Hebrew, the wall is never a V sound. It is always either a W sound or an U or an O sound. Either W, O, or U. It's either wa, or U. Elo. Higavti. Hayim. Lathenoi. Notice there is no apostrophe between the L and the A where I transliterated it. That's to let you know that although there is an aleph in the word Adonai, but here the aleph is not a sounded aleph. It is not a glottal stop. Why? Because there is no vowel associated with the aleph in this case. The A in Lathenoi belongs to the L, belongs to the lamed, and not to the aleph. So Lathenoi and not La-Adonoi. That's a common mistake. Not La-Adonoi, but Lathenoi. Elohecha. Ki vathi. El ha'oras. Asher. Nishba'. Not nishba'a. That would be 3 syllables. Nishba'a. Not 3 syllables. Only 2. Nishba'. Nishba'. The last sound in this word should be the sound of ayin, not followed by a vowel. Nishba'. Adonai. La avethenu. Here, the aleph does get a apostrophe because here the aleph is sounded. We know it is sounded because it has a vowel of its own. La avethenu. La avethenu. Lafeth. Lanu. Let's read through at a little bit more of a more natural pace. Uvafa el hakohen asher yeh bayomim hohem va'amarta elo higavti hayom ladonai elohecha Kivafi el ha'aras asher nishba' Adonai la avethenu latheth lanu. And one final time, a little bit more of a natural pace. Feel free to follow along in the transliteration or in the Hebrew text. Uvatha el hakohen asher yeh bayomim hahem ואמרת אלו, הגבתי היום לאדוני אלוהיך, כיוותי אל הארץ, אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותינו, לתת לנו. That concludes our reading the first 3 verses of this week's Torah portion, and your keywords for this week's Torah portion are wirishta. You can find all 5 of these words, these keywords, in the previous 3 verses that we read. They appear in the first 3 verses of this week's Torah portion. Wirishta. It has a mapik, as we mentioned earlier. The mapik is very important to pronounce, so it's worth working on. The reason is because more times than not, the mapik signifies an entire word unto itself. Look at the translation of this word, wirishta. You shall inherit it. All of that is included in this word, wirishta. If you remove the mapik, if you do not pronounce the consonantal he here, you have deleted this pronoun at the end of the word, wirishta. You deleted the pronoun. You deleted an entire word from the Bible. So it's important to learn how to do this. Anybody can make this sound if you have a throat and you can breathe. Some sounds in Hebrew you are not able to make if you lack a tongue or if you lack teeth. But some sounds in Hebrew, if you have a throat and you are able to breathe, you are able to make these sounds. It just may take some practice to learn how to master it. The guttural letters, which are often thought of as the most difficult letters, are actually those letters that anybody can make, even if you don't have teeth, even if you have some problem with your tongue. If you are able to breathe and you are conscious and you have a throat, you can make the sounds of the guttural letters, such as mapik. There are videos that will help you do this on the internet, and I also have some resources to help you learn how to produce this sound. Wirishta means you shall inherit. It literally is, and you inherited it. You inherited it, past tense, but the vav, the wall at the beginning, is a reversive vav. It flips the tense from you inherited it to you shall inherit it. Number 2, Wayoshavta means you shall settle. Literally, it means and you sat. Sat is a frequent Hebrew idiom that refers to settling, to establishing permanent dwelling in a location. Wayoshavta, and you shall dwell. Number 3, Wesamta, and you shall place, Literally, it means and you put. The reversing wall flips the tense from you put to you shall place. Number 4, Uvatha, or in modern Hebrew, ubata, means you shall come. Literally means and you came, past tense. But again, the reversing vav flips the tense to future tense. And finally, number 5, lafeth means to give. In modern Hebrew, this would be latet, to give. Sometimes it connotates to allow or let something, and sometimes it has even other meanings. But the most basic meaning is to give, latet. So let's read these 5 one more time. Repeat after me. Wirishta. Wirishta. Remember to exhale on the mapik. Exhale without a vowel following it. Wirishta. Wayashavta. Wesamta. Uvatha. Lafeth. That concludes our reading of the first 3 verses of this week's Torah portion, Parashat Ki Tavo. Have a wonderful Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.